Kincora. Kincora, Killaloe, in the southeast of County Clare, is a visit in waiting for Irish men, women and tourists throughout the world. Its hinterland comprises of lofty hills and cliffs, a deep and fast-flowing river with the hills of Tipperary forming an unforgettable background. A tree-lined motorway leads us through the southeast of County Clare, with the ever-present River Shannon forming a natural boundary between Clare and Tipperary. Arriving in Killaloe, a visitor becomes acquainted with the narrowing of the River Shannon, with a closer view of the majestic Slieve Balmach and a sense of joy at finding the site of the renowned stronghold of Ború, the High King of Ireland during the 11th century. Tara had been abandoned. The palace, built on the plains of Meath with its royalty, visitors, entertainers and military personnel, had fallen silent and abandoned. A curse by Niamh Ruáin had led to its closure, so Kincora had become the dwelling place of the kings of Ireland and especially Dalgash. A beautiful church now stands where Kincora, the palace of the O'Briens, once stood. Built on an elevated site, it commands a brilliant view of the River Shannon and surrounding area. Here, King Brian Ború, son of Canaja of the Dalgash race, was born in 941. The ring fort of Brian Ború, standing on a narrow stretch of land down by the river, commands a view of the narrowing of the waters of Lough Derg as it proceeds a short distance from Killaloe. Placed at a vital crossing centre from Clare to Tipperary, it allowed surveillance and accountability of forces crossing from county to county. There is evidence that originally the place where the ring fort once stood was the location where hunters assembled as stone axes and hammer stones were found in the area. Enthralled by the vista on approaching from the north, we first visit the ring fort of Brian Ború, situated where the Shannon links Killaloe and Ballina. Brian Ború, of a family of 12, witnessed the coronation of his elder brother Mahon when he became king of Munster. Yet the Danes held dominion over the province, so King Mahon and Brian sought refuge among the clans of Tipperary and further afield. Brian was an avid reader, and so he was enthralled by the legendary battles of Fionn MacCool and Con Caith Cath, or Con of the 100 Battles. And so at the age of 17, he joined the Dalgash guerrilla bands to fight the Danes of Limerick. But in 976, Mahon was killed and Brian became king of the Dalgash. Reaching middle age, Brian now relinquished his battle desires, but strove for unity of the clans to repulse the power and advances of the Danes and their followers. Just a dozen years later came his military triumph and his death at the Battle of Clontarf 1014, killed by the Norse chieftain Sigurd. Today, Kincora, denuded of its buildings, stands proud and serene near the surging waters of the River Shannon. But Brian Ború is not forgotten. Brian Ború's harp has become the emblem of our station. And an ancient chronicle of Clontarf, April 1014, reveals the significance of Brian's leadership. And a quotation by the historian, closing a chapter on the Danish and Norse supremacy in Ireland. From his memoirs called Voices from the Dawn, he says, I was fighting for Ireland. One could hear the swords singing in battle. There was a sharp attack. Seagull fell in battle. Brian fell, but was victorious.